Hello, I'm going to say right off the top of the video that the scarf I showed you last week, the red, black and white one that I was going to show you finished this week, I haven't finished it because I completely forgot. I just found it and thought, oh yeah, I was supposed to finish that. So maybe next week, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, market on Sunday, not the most profitable day for me. I made one sale and so yeah, I don't think I will do that particular market again. It's a nice market. It's in a nice big room, lots of interesting stalls, just doesn't get a lot of passing traffic. It's sort of a destination place rather than somewhere that you're walking past. So not a huge amount of customers. So I'm glad I made one sale and I'm glad that I did it. I don't think I'll do that particular market again though. And one thing that did surprise me was how much stock I have, because I didn't realise I had that many things in plastic tubs waiting to be sold. So I do need to get those online for sale. And I'm not saying that because I want you to buy them. I'm saying that because it's another thing on the to-do list. Because I genuinely was surprised at how much stuff I had. I kept pulling things out going, this is a lot of stuff that I've done. Anyway, so we'll sort that out at some point. I need to figure out where I'm going to take photos. I need to figure out where I'm going to sell, all of that stuff. So at the market, the thing that I sold was $45, so I got $44.15 after the credit card fees. And then it was $20 for the stall, and then I spent $20 at the market. So not brilliant. I spent $20 because I bought a coffee for $5, and I very much needed a pocket frog. This is by Kitten Stitches. I'll put a link to her Instagram in the description. Yes, in the description, in the bit down there with the words in. She makes a lot of fidgets and crochet animals, and obviously, he's got fluff on him. That's my fluff, that's not her fluff. And obviously I needed a little pocket frog because why wouldn't I? That's how you get me to spend money, put a frog on it. So he's going back in my pocket. Now, my yarn order arrived on Friday. I'm very excited. Not as excited as I was on Friday because I had the tracking page open in my browser because of course I did. And it had been in transit to the sorting centre for days. And I thought, I wonder if it's arrived at the sorting centre yet. So I reloaded the page and it said awaiting collection. And then I had 2 more hours of work I had to do before I could go and get it. But it's here. And look, I've got my project bag because things are serious. So let's talk about the yarn. So first of all, I'm going to show you the yarn that I bought with no plan. So this is yarn that I bought because it's pretty. So this is Hobie yarn Frutta or Frutta, or no, it's Frutta. It's Frutta. Frutta. There we go. It is 100% cotton, and it's the, which colourway is it? I'm trying to be informative here. It does not say. It does not say which colourway it is. I don't know off the top of my head which colourway that is. Nope. But it looks like that. So it's purples and oranges and yellows and creams. And what I really liked about that is I like purple with just about any other colour. And I really like purple and orange, but generally you get the very bright, vivid ones that are a bit Halloween-y. Not that there's anything wrong with being a bit Halloween-y, but I really liked that this was a bit more subtle. So I bought 2 of those because pretty, okay, needed to come home with me. So we'll get to the project bag in a second. I'm going to hang that off my arm because I'm disorganised. I keep saying I need a little table. I need a little table. So one of the other yarns that I ordered was Sweet Tweed, which looks like this. It is quite the mix of yarns. So this is the blue colourway, as you can tell because it's blue. They have a lot of different colourways. This is discontinued. It's on clearance. I'm not trying to influence you to buy any, but it's really nice. So it's basically blue, but with a little bit of colour flicked through. And I'll show you what I'm doing with that because I have it on the loom. But first I'm going to tell you the fibre composition because it is acrylic. I'm wearing the wrong glasses for this. Acrylic, polyamide or polyamide? Polyamide, I think. Mohair, wool, cotton and polyester. So it's kind of what fibres do you want in your yarn? Yes. So I'm going to grab the little loom because I have this, not this one's in my hand, but I have warped this up because this is a scarf for a friend. I'm going to keep doing that for as long as it takes. So I'm just going to go and get the little loom. It's over there. Give me 2 seconds. Maybe 3. Oops. Oops. So this is how it's looking on the loom. And what I've got is a basic skip dent. So I'll tell you what that means. First of all, I'm going to show you that I have... Am I going to show you? Yes, I am. So I've had to put a little weight on there, but it's fallen off. I was going to show you how good I am at making little weights, but it has fallen off. I did have a bead hanging off that, that stitch marker. And that's just a way, if you've got a loose thread, you can put a weight on the back and it will keep the tension a bit better. And I don't know where my bead's gone, but there is normally a bead hanging off that. Anyway, let's look at the actual design pattern. I haven't got enough hands. I don't have a table. I need a third arm. So let's put that on. That's on this side. Let's take that under there, like that. There. It's like I've done it before. So this is a skip dent. It's off centre. Don't worry about it. I was going to make it wider, and then I thought this was wide enough. So what I've got is groups of 6 threads. 6 threads. Let's see if I can get the heddle in shot more. And then after 6 threads, I've got a skip dent, which just means I didn't put a thread through that slot when I was warping it up. So there's a hole and a slot without any threads in it. And that gives a sort of gappy effect. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like when it's wet finished, because sometimes when you do a skip dent, you get a really nice line of texture, and sometimes when you do a skip dent, it makes no difference whatsoever to the finished piece. And this is so fluffy, I don't know that it's going to make a difference. But it will make a difference to how the fringe looks, because the fringe will be in sort of clusters, gaps, clusters, groups, I don't know. But that is how it's going. It is a little bit sticky because it's so fluffy. Look how fluffy. It's so fluffy. And that means that when you change the shed, particularly in the... Oh, no, it's not doing it now that you're looking. But before, it was really sticky. But now that you're looking at it, it's going to behave itself. So what basically happens is that these threads sort of hang together a little bit, particularly in the down shed. Not a big drama. Because it's a slightly wider heddle than I would normally use for this weight of yarn, it's okay. If I was using a 12.5, which this could probably go in, I don't think it'd go in a 15 because of the fluff. It would be much stickier. But the threads sort of hang on to each other because they're so fluffy, and then when you move the heddle, everything goes instead of just the one thread going. I don't know if that made sense. It made sense in my head. Let me know in the comments if I'm making any sense. Not in general, just in that bit. So that is the scarf for my friend, which should be finished. It's very fresh on the loom, as always. Shouldn't take long to do. I don't think I've warped it up ridiculously long this time, but we'll find out. I haven't got anything on the big loom at the moment. I do have plans for that, but we'll talk about that next week. So I'm going to put this down because I've got the project bag, because things are serious in the project bag world. I'll be back. Enjoy the garden for a second. I'm back, and I've moved the camera because the sun moved and the contrast was bad, but you didn't notice a thing. It was very smooth. And I've got the project bag because things are serious now. So I looked at a lot of yarns for this project because it's that big hippie cardigan thing done in the round. And the last time I made it with a heavier weight yarn than I needed, and it came out really big. And this time I'm actually using a slightly finer weight yarn, but I think it's going to be all right. So I looked at a lot of yarns. I looked all over the place for yarns. And there's a lot of beautiful yarns, but not a lot of them in my price point. And I eventually settled on this one. This is Silly Socks by Hobie Yarns. Obviously, this is a Hobie Yarns heavy episode. They don't sponsor me. They could if they wanted to. And it is the Happy Clown colourway. Now, I chose this because it's a rainbow, and I love rainbows. But I chose this for the way that the colours change. Ordinarily, with a rainbow yarn, generally speaking, you will either have a gradient. Why is my hand up there? There we go. You'll either have a gradient, it will fade from red to orange to yellow, or you will have a hard stop. It'll be red, and then it'll stop, and then it'll be orange, and then it'll stop. This does something slightly different in that it goes... So, for example, with the purple, it'll go through the purple, and then a little bit of the blue will come in, and then more purple, and then a little bit of the blue. So it's kind of patchy and a little bit painterly, and that's working quite well. So I'm going to show you what I'm up to, which is not a lot. It's in here. Let me put that down and bring this out. So I'm up to round 12. I'll put you down, you're fine. And it's looking a little bit like that. And you can see there the colour changes. You can see there when I do that, the colour changes. You can see what I mean about the colour changes. If I can spread this out a little bit on my fingers like that perhaps. It's a bit curly at the minute. It will flatten out. It's fine. So you can see here I've started with the red. And oh, that purple looks really pink on camera. It's really purple. It's not that pink. So I started with the red, and then the purple started to come in, and then the red has continued, a little bit more purple, and then eventually the purple comes in, but there's a little bit of red because it's sort of painterly. So I thought, because this is a short colour change because it's a sock yarn, so it's designed to do stripes on socks, and therefore there's going to be, when I get to the bigger rounds, or the rounder rounds, yeah, there's going to be a few colour changes per round. So I thought that would be a little bit less chaotic. It's going to be quite chaotic, I think. There's going to be a lot going on. Now, I'm using a slightly smaller hook. Did I learn my lesson last time when it came out so big? No, I'm using a slightly smaller hook. I did start with a 5mm, because that's what the pattern calls for. This yarn is a little too thin for that, and I ended up with, you know, the tops of the stitches were quite loopy. The chain stitches to turn the rounds, at the start of the round, you don't turn, very loopy. And I thought, I don't love that. And even though nobody probably would have noticed, it bothered me. So I went to a 4.5. It's going to be fine, because we believe it will be. Because when I get to the point where I'm putting the armholes in, which is a little way from that, because that's the middle of the back, and I've got quite a ways to go before I'm worrying about armholes. If that size doesn't fit because I've made it with a smaller hook, I can just add rounds if I need to, or I can move where the armholes go in. It's going to be fine. But that is how it is looking so far. The pattern itself is a monster. Let me, I'm not going to show you close up because it is copyright. I'm down here, don't worry, I'll be back. Oops, everything's gone wrong down here, don't worry. Everything's fine. So the pattern is a monster. I've got it bulldog clipped. So the reason the pattern is a monster is because it's really well illustrated with everything. Like when you're doing a round that's a little bit more complicated, lots of illustrations. Having said that, round 11 nearly broke my brain. And I think it's because I was doing it quite late last night and I couldn't get my head around it for about an hour. But I got it done. I'm on round 12 now. But it is quite a big pattern. And I know that you can do PDF patterns these days. I don't get on with it. I like to have a paper pattern. I'm old, leave me alone. So that is what is happening. At the moment, I've got quite a lot of rainbow yarn to get through, like I'm suffering. I've got the thing on the loom. I've got a plan for the big loom, but I don't know if that's going to happen this week or not. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you this week. I think some of the words that came out of my mouth were in the right order. We'll find out when I'm editing. Thank you so much for watching. You have a lovely rest of your week. I will see you next time, hopefully with quite a lot more of that cut. The last one I think took me 5 months to do. So maybe don't hold your breath, but we will get progress. There will be progress week to week, I'm sure of it, because I'm having a lovely time with it. So hopefully less than 5 months, but I can't make any promises. You take care of yourself. I will see you next time. Bye for now.